Is it audible now?
Yes, ma'am, you're audible, ma'am.
So in the previous class, we started image restoration. Module 4, we have already started. In that, we started registration. So what is registration? So it is nothing but we have to map the points from one space to another space. So here from two images, we have to find the mapping. Okay. So it is a spatial transform. We need to find a spatial transform in the registration that will map the points from one image to corresponding points in another image. So when we are trying to match the corresponding coordinate points in the two images, they will correspond to same physical region of the scene being imaged. It can also reference image fusion, superimposition, matching, or merging also. So if we take here some two images are there, but we have to map the corresponding points in it, and then we need to align it. So then we call it as a registration. Now this is the skull image. Here some one point is there, and that point inspect, okay, where it is located and the corresponding transformation where it has been transformed. What is the transformation that we need to identify? So that is the registration process. So if you see the hierarchy for registration, so we can have the dimensionality as we can map from 2D to 2D. We can have 3D to 3D and 2D to 3D mapping also we can find. The nature of registration basis, it can be either image based or non-image based. And in image based, it can be either an extrinsic or intrinsic. And if you see the nature of transformation, it can be rigid, it can be affine, it can be projective, and it can be curved transforms. An interaction, it can be interactive, semi-automatic, and automatic. Then modalities, it can be mono, multi, and modality, and we can to the model also we can have the modality. Then subject, it can be intrasubject, intersubject, atlas, and domain of transformation, we can have it either in local or global. Then we need to follow the optimization procedure. Then we need to align to the object. Now if you see the rigid model, so rigid model, first we will see in translation. Okay, so translation is a constant displacement over the space. So this is the original pixel. So this is the displacement that is happening, and this is the new pixel that we have. So this is the displacement that is happening. So that is the translation transformation. And rotation, so x and y are the original pixels, and x prime and y prime are the rotated pixels, that is the rotated values, and the transformation that we will use is cos theta, sin theta, minus sin theta, cos theta. So this will be already seen in the previous class. And these elementary transformations, they can write it in homogeneous coordinate matrix like this. We can write it as x prime, y prime 1, cos theta, sin theta, minus sin theta, cos theta, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, x, y, 1. And when we solve this, we will get the same equations. And for translation also, we can write like this. Okay. 1, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, px, 0, 1, py, 0, 0, 1, xy. Now the rigid transform, which involves the rotation followed by translation. So it can be first translated, then it is rotated. Okay, both can be done. So if we want a transformation like this, then we can directly write cos theta sin theta minus sin theta cos theta 0, 0, ax to by theta. So here what happens, both will happen. Translation also will be happen and rotation also will be happen. And the coefficients we can solve using SVD, that is singular value decomposition. And what is affine transform? Affine transform, it can be decomposed into linear transformation in their translation. So the rotation that we have seen there, it is a linear transformation. And affine model, it will maintain the spatial relationship between the points and asserts that lines that are parallel before the transformation, it will remain parallel after the transformation. So the general affine model, it has 6 parameters here. So x prime is a11x, a12y. So the parameters here is a11, a12, tx, a21, a22, ty. Okay, so these are the transformations. And affine transform, it is used to correct for scaling and shearing differences. So if you see the affine transform, the parameters that we need to know is the 6 parameters, and this is the written in a homogeneous manner. And then after affine, it is perspective transformation. So perspective model, it is having 8 independent parameters including. So this model will assert that the lines that are parallel before transformation, they can intersect after transformation. But in affine, it's not the case. Including, there are 2 more parameters that will control the perspective Tx and Ty. So P1 and P2 are the extra parameters that they will get. So that is the perspective transformation. Then during registration, we need to use some of the similarity measures. So similarity measures are a form of registration based on the intensity properties of the image. So similarity measure, they use cost functions which quantify the degree of similarity between two images. So registration models based on these cost functions, they will adjust the parameters of an appropriate transformation model until the cost function is reaching the local optimum. So the algorithm for similarity measure is, first we have to define the reference and the search windows. Then we have to define the similarity measure cost function. And for all the positions of the reference window in the search window, we have to calculate the similarity measure. Then you have to select the optimal location for whichever is having the optimum value that we will select. Here, if you see this R and C is the search window and R is the reference window. And the window size, it can be from K by 2 to I minus K by 2, L by 2, J minus L by 2. So K, L we have to give, and N is the size of the, or the pixel value here. Okay, so based on that, we have to search the entire window wherever it is being mapped. Okay, wherever it is being mapped, there the similarity measure will be little bit high. When the similarity measure is high, then definitely we will consider those pixels. So first similarity measure is cross correlation. So it is one of the first cost functions they have been used for image registration. So this cost function multiplies the intensities of two images at each pixel and sums the resulting value. By reading this statement, you can understand. So we have to multiply the intensities at each pixel for both the images, and then we will sum them. Okay. So the product is then normalized by dividing it by the product of the root mean squared intensities of each of the two images. So it is nothing but x, y. So this is nothing but intensities of the two images we are trying to multiply, and then we need to take sum of that and divided by mean square error for the both the images. So this is the cross correlation. Okay, and it is used for monomodal and temporal registration. And the next similarity measure is sum of squared differences. It can be minimized. Okay, then our SST will be 0 if it is correctly matched. Okay, if the pixels, if the mapping is good, then it is 0. And it is used for monomodal and temporal registration. If you see the equation, it will be like this: C minus R. So GTM means that we need to define, right? So we need to give this values. So this is the reference and this is the search window. So we have to take the squares of the differences. The name itself suggests a sum of square differences. Take the difference, square it, and then sum them up. And SST, it will be 0 if it is correctly matched. Then the next similarity measure is correlation coefficient. So here the correlation coefficient is an extension to correlation, which assumes that the intensities of the two images are linearly related. It will be maximized Okay. So if it is correctly matched, so CC, it is nothing but a C minus C bar. We know what is it. It is the average R minus R bar. Then we are trying to sum it up. And here we are taking the squares differences. We are trying to compute the C minus C bar. So this is the average. We are trying to take the square of the difference and then we are trying to sum it up. Then similarly, we are doing for R's. We are calculating the average. Then we are finding the difference. We are squaring it, then summing them up, and then we are multiplying the both the sides. Then we are normalizing it here. So this is the correlation coefficient. So it is 1 when they are correctly matched. Then the next similarity measure is sum of absolute differences. So it will be 0 if it is correctly matched. And it is used for monomodal and temporal registration. So here you can see we are taking the absolute differences between C and R and then we are trying to sum it up. So this sum of absolute differences. We can have normalized sum of absolute difference also. There we have to first subtract the average value from C and average value from R. Then you calculate the absolute difference and then you sum it up. That is normalized ratio. We have other similarity measures also, that is variance of intensity ratios, variance of differences, and standard deviation of differences, stochastic sign crossing, deterministic sign change, and histogram based difference measures are there, that is entropy of histogram of differences, then energy of histogram differences. And then what is monomodality here? So it is a series of same modality of images. Here for this, we have to take the images for weeks or months, and they have to take from different viewpoints. Here it is aligning the images in order to detect the subtle changes in intensity or shape. Multimodality, here it is complementary anatomic and functional information from multiple modalities we are considering, and it can be obtained for precise diagnosis and treatment. Examples we can take the PET scan. These are tomographies. Okay. CT, MR. So this and all will come under multimodal. And methods that are used for finding the transformation. So it can be either rigid and affine or non-rigid. If it is rigid and affine, there we can have landmark-based transformation, edge-based, voxel intensity based, and information theoretical. Voxels is nothing but the sub sizes, sub images we will consider here. And non-rigid, it is registration using the basis functions. And registration we can do using splines also here. And physics based, it is elastic fluid, optical flow. So this and all, it is like, if you want to learn, it should be the entire module. So that much detail no need to go. We will see the overview of image registration, how it will be done, and what are the different methods that are available in that. So here you can see what is meant by global and local, and for rigid transform, how it will be. If we are performing the rigid transform, some rotation happen here. It is often, if it is projective, if it is forward transform, it will be like this. If it is local, for each sub window, we are trying to perform the particular transformation. And registration is the alignment problem. If you see pixel location in the first image, the value is 845, 856. I need the same pixel, okay, same pixel, but I want to find in this particular image where it is. Okay. We have to map it. If you map, so at some 912 and 632, the mapping will be happening. Okay, so this is nothing but it is a alignment problem. And coming to the landmark based transformations, it is identifying corresponding points in the images and inferring the image transformation. We have how to identify the corresponding points, then we have to identify what kind of transformation is required. And types of landmarks that are available is extrinsic and intrinsic. If it is extrinsic, artificial objects will be attached to the points. So when the images are being acquired, so there will be some artificial objects. Okay, there can be some patches attained to the patient. If it is intrinsic, it is internal anatomical structures of the patient. And we have to compute the average or centroid of each set of points so that we can identify by translation. And then we have to rotate the point set about the new centroid until the sum of the square distances between each corresponding point pair is minimized. Then the next one is surface based. So it can be based on the method. The method that we will use is we have to extract the corresponding surfaces. Then we will compute the transformation by minimizing the measure of distances between the surfaces. That's why we call it as surface based. So algorithms we use is head and hat algorithm, iterative process point algorithm. Okay, and registration we can use using pressed lines. So these are the algorithms that we can surface based. Then the next one is intensity based. So here the method is we have to calculate the registration transformation by optimizing some measure calculated directly from the voxel value in the images. And algorithms used is registration by minimizing the intensity difference, correlation technique, then ratio image uniformity and partition intensity. So these are the algorithms used, and this is the method how we will be calculating the registration transformation. And intensity-based methods, they compare intensity patterns in the images via correlation matrix such as sum of square differences, normalized cross correlation, mutual information. So if we take this is the source and this is the target, we need to identify what is the alignment that has been happened from source to the target. Here you can see for each pixel what is the displacement, whether it has been moved which side, in which angle. So that and all we are able to get. So that's why we are considering the translation and rotation. By rotation, we can identify what is the angle it has been tilted, and by translation, we can identify what is the displacement that has been happened. Then feature based, so it is to find the correspondence between the image features such as points, lines, and contours. So here we have to find the distance between the corresponding points. And similarity method between the feature values, we need to identify. First one is we need to find correspondence, then we have to find the distance, then get the similarity method between the feature values. Example is curvature based registration. And then information theory based. So here image registration is considered as to maximize the amount of shared information to images. It is to reduce the amount of information in the combined image. And algorithms used is joint entropy. It measures the amount of information in the two images, and mutual information, a measure of how well one image explains the other and is maximized at the optimal point. So here we have to consider the information in both the images, and mutual, how one image is having the information related to other, that is mutual information. Then we have normalized mutual information. So here by seeing these two images, you can understand. So this is not registered properly because the alignment has not been happened, but it is registered image because the alignment has been happened because corresponding points have been properly aligned. And mutual information, it is the algorithm which for maximizing the mutual information, and it is used as the popular one for a medical image registration. So some advancements is being happening in this also. If we have PI is the original information, then PIJ log PIJ by PIPJ. So this is the mutual information that we are trying to identify for INJ. And then heuristic informed observation given by Roger Woods. So heuristic observation is that when the images are aligned, the joint histogram will appear sharpest. So this is also known as Roots criterion. So here these two images are perfectly aligned here. So this is very sharp. If there is 2 millimeter displacement of one image to the side, so this is the histogram. This augment displacement of image to the side. So this is the histogram. By seeing all 3 images, we can understand that this is aligned properly. Then coming to the non-rigid registration. So reasons for deformable registration. Okay, so this can be due to patients are moving, okay, and patients will be changed. Okay, pre and post treatment images. So because of that, it can be changed, and patients will be different. So these are the reasons for deformable registration. And for deformable registration, we have to compute here nonlinear spatial transformation. Okay, when it is rigid, it was linear, but here we have to identify nonlinear spatial transformation between corresponding structures in 3 images. Here from here to here, some transformation has been happened. That transformation we need to identify. Okay, if we are doing based on intensity, so we have to minimize the difference term based on the image intensities. If it is no feature-based registration, then we can extract distinct sparsely located features and we can match the extracted features. So this is the framework for deformable registration. So if we take the source image and target image, we have to optimize. So here you can use any kind of optimization technique. And then we have to update the transform and then grab the image. And then once it is being optimized, then we can calculate energy and transformation and what is the difference measure and regularization term for energy. So this is the reference that I have taken. So it's from Wallace Batty, Medical Image Registration. It was the lecture given in 2016. And he is working in Center for Research in Computer Vision in University of Central Florida. So these are the lectures that I have taken from there. And if you see the characteristics of registration methods, okay, we have to consider the feature space, similarity matrix, and search strategy. So all these three are important. If you see feature spaces, so we can either take raw intensity as a feature, and if we take edges, then it is intrinsic structure, less sensitive to noise. We can take edges as a feature space. Then salient features, if you see, it can be either intrinsic structure, accurate positioning, points of locally maximum curvature and low contour lines, and centers of windows having locally maximum variances. So these and all references are given here. If you want it in more detail, you can go and search. And line intersections given by Stockman. Fourier descriptors also can be considered. Okay, it was given by Kuhn. Then statistical features, we will use all information and it is good for rigid transformations, and assumptions will be concerning based on the spatial stature. And if you see the statistical features based works, in 85 and 82, in 85 it is moment invariance based, and in 82 it is centroid principal axis based, which was done by Rosenfeld. And then higher level features, it uses the relations and other higher level information, and it is good for exact and local matching. So you can have structural features, syntactic features, and semantic networks. So these are the works done in 1981 based on structural, syntactic, and semantic works. And matching against models. So here we need accurate intrinsic structure, noise in one image only we will consider. So these are the works that has been done in this anatomic atlas, geographic map, and object map. Then similarity metric, if you see, normalized cross correlation function used in 82 by Rosenfeld. It is accurate for white noise, but not tolerant of local distortion. So sharp peak in correlation space, it is difficult to find. That correlation coefficient, it is similar to the above, but has absolute measure. And statistical correlation and matched filters. If the noise can be modeled, then it is an advantage. Phase correlation, it is tolerant of frequency dependent noise, that is an advantage. Sum of absolute differences, it is efficient and it is good for finding matches with no local distortion. And sum of absolute differences of contours, it can be efficiently computed using tamper matching, and it is more robust against local distortions. Contour or surface differences similar to metric, it is for structural registration. And number of sign changes in point-wise density difference, it is good for dissimilar images. And higher level metrics such as structural matching, tree and graph distances, syntactic matching, automata. Okay, for structural matching, we can use T and graph distances, and if for syntactic matching, we can use automata. So the advantage is they can optimize the match based on features or relations of inputs. Then the search strategies is we can have a lot of search strategies. One is decision sequencing. So improved efficiency we will get for a similarity optimization for reduced transforms. So this is the reference. And relaxation labeling, practical approach to find global transformations when local distortions are present and exploit the spatial relationship between the features. Okay, these are the references for relaxation labeling. The dynamic programming also we can use for searching. Good efficiency for finding local transformations when an intrinsic order for matching is present. So these are the references you can go and search it. And generalized Hawk transform for shape matching of rigidly displaced contours by mapping edge space into dual parameter space. These are the references. And for linear programming, we can also use this for solving system of linear inequality constraints, and it is also used for finding rigid transformation for point matching. So the reference is WEG 84. And hierarchical techniques also used. It is applicable for improving and speed up by many different approaches by guiding search through progressively finer resolution. So it will be in a progressive manner. So that is the advantage. So these are all the references. And then tree and graph matching. So it uses tree or graph properties to minimize search, good for inact and matching of higher level structures. That these are the references. So these are some of the search strategies you can use. Okay. Then we will see point-based methods. Okay, if it is point-based methods, I have already discussed in the previous class, we have started. So if some set of corresponding point pairs, they can be identified priorly for a given pair of views, then registration will be affected by selecting the transformation that aligns the points. So because such points are taken as being reliable for the purposes of registration, they call fiducial points. So the determination of the precise point within a feature is called fiducial localization, and the transformation that aligns the corresponding fiducial points will then interpolate the mapping from these points to other points in the. So the interpolation can be happen. And the fiducial localization, it can be based on interactive visual identification of landmarks, such as the junction of two linear structures. Example, the central sulcus within the midline of the brain at the intersection of linear structure with the surface. So mostly the registration will be used for the medical images. So it is more advantage there. So the examples are related to the medical field. The feature may be marker which is attached to the anatomy, and it will be accurately localizable by means of automatic algorithm. And then the chosen point will be displaced somewhat from its correct location. So whatever the displacement is happening, okay, this displacement is the determination of a fiducial point, which cannot be ordinarily observed directly, is commonly called as fiducial localization errors. So the displacement is called as FLE. Such errors will occur in both image spaces. It can be either in one space which we are trying to map Okay, and it can be in another such space which we are trying to we are taking it as a reference. And marker-based registration has advantage over landmark-based. Okay, and automatic algorithms for locating a fiducial markers can take advantage of knowledge of marker size and shape for producing the consistent localization point within the. And the registration accuracy depends on only on degree which the chosen points correspond to for both the views, because it is not affected by the particular point that has been chosen, and because the mean position relative to the marker can be expected to be the same in both the views, the effective mean displacement will be 0 for the given. Okay, because it is not affected by the point that has been chosen, and the mean position also it is can be taken as the same for both the views, then it is 0. If we are taking smaller markers, which is called as voxels, they are poorly localized than large number, and shape of the marker, which is smaller than the voxel, cannot be represented at all. And more importantly, with regard to the registration accuracy, such marker can situation entirely within the voxel, within the result that brightness pattern is independent of marker's position. So this you have to. If brightness pattern, it is independent of marker's position within the voxel. How much time is left? So that's what, no? So we have discussed what is surface methods, what is intensity based methods, and now we are going to discuss the point based methods in detail. I hope you all got to know what is meant by registration, what is the use of that. Okay. So if you have any doubts, please ask me. No, I will try to solve it. So from today's class, you try to get what are the similarity measures, what is meant by rigid, affine, non-rigid transformation, and what are the search strategies that we can do. Ma, all of you answer your attendance, no? Pravalika,
Present, ma'am.
Vignesh, Dishant,
Present, ma'am.
Ayush, Malai
Present, ma'am.
Aryan, Anubhav Mishra,
Yes, ma'am.
Mohan,
Yes, ma'am.
Lokesh,
Yes, ma'am.
Rajesh,
Yes, ma'am.
Shivamanikyam,
Yes, ma'am.
Akash,
Present, ma'am.
Harsh,
Present, ma'am.
Sai Saran,
Present, ma'am.
Anirudh,
Present, ma'am.
Alishma,
Present, ma'am.
Lakshman,
Yes, ma'am.
Dinesh,
Yes, ma'am.
Somesh,
Present, ma'am.
Sai Nitin,
Present, ma'am.
Roshan Aditya,
Present, ma'am.
Revant,
Present, ma'am.
Sai Raghavendra,
Present, ma'am.
Mohit,
Present, ma'am.
Abhinav,
Present.
Vinu Kevin,
Sir.
Gautam, Kunal,
Present, ma'am.
Saif,
Present, ma'am.
Abhishek, Manav,
Present, ma'am.
Anjali,
Present, ma'am.
Rajiv Krishna,
Present, ma'am.
Siddharth,
Present, ma'am.
Tanish, Vaibhav, Jebin,
Present, ma'am.
Sai Pritam,
Present, ma'am.
Varun Menon,
Present, ma'am.
Karthik,
Present, ma'am.
Chandru,
Present, ma'am.
Kishore,
Present, ma'am.
Mayank,
Present, ma'am.
Pushkar Nath,
Present, ma'am.
Smriti Verma,
Present, ma'am.
Dinesh,
Present, ma'am.
Abu Kalam,
Present, ma'am.
Anmol,
Present, ma'am.
Charu Anand,
Present, ma'am.
Karthik,
Present, ma'am.
Sanjay,
Present, ma'am.
Raghava,
Present, ma'am.
Anupama,
Present, ma'am.
Balaji,
Present, ma'am.
Isha Gupta, Priya,
Present, ma'am.
Priyadarshini,
Present, ma'am.
Yashwant,
Present, ma'am.
Mithun,
Present, ma'am.
Abhishek.
Present, ma'am.
Okay, we'll see the absentees once.
Ma'am, 1250
Jignesh,
present, ma'am. 19,
Vansi,
ma'am, 18 BC 1189 present.
Isha, present.
Isha,
Ma'am, Abhishek Reddy present, ma'am. 19 BC 125.
present.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, see the absentees now. Jignesh Chaudhary, Ayush, then Gautam Sanjay, Tanish Gupta, Vaibhav Agarwal. Okay, see. Anyone there? Am I right? Anyone given in chat box? Submitting my permission. Do we have any queries now? I think by now you understood what is image registration, why it is required. Okay, and how we are doing image registration, that is by using transformations. And in the transformations, we have different kinds of transformations. Okay, rigid, non-rigid transformation. So in rigid transformation, we have taken some examples such as translation, rotation. Okay, so those are linear transformation. So we want to make it as a for homogeneous coordinates. So that's why we are making them as for homogeneous. That is called as affine transformation. So using affine transformation, we have to find some 6 parameters. Okay, when we are converting those matrices to homogeneous coordinates in affine transform, some parameters we need to identify. So in perspective transformation, we need to find some 8 independent parameters. So that is rigid and affine. Then we have moved to non-rigid. In non-rigid, we have those are non-linear transformations that we have to identify non-rigid. In image registration, we have surface-based methods where the surfaces first we have to read, then we need to identify what is the similarity or correspondence between these surfaces, and then we have to optimize them. Okay, and for intensity-based method, we have seen what are all the similarity measures that we have seen based on the intensities only, that sum of absolute differences. Okay, those and all we can consider for intensity-based methods itself. Then point-based methods. So I want to discuss it detailed related to point-based methods. So for that, I have taken a PDF as a reference that I will share it in the Teams. Okay, so in point-based methods, by tomorrow, how much I have of finishing, okay, that much only you have to consider it. And if you want to read in detail, you can go for the PDF. Okay, that I will share it in the Teams. Any doubts you have, whatever we discussed today, you can stay. If there are no doubts, you can leave the session now. All of you take care, stay safe.